Thank you very much. You may now be seated. A pleasant afternoon to everyone. We are gathered here today for the inauguration and ceremonial switch on of the 135 megawatt circulating fluidized bed combustion power plant of PAM Concepcion Power Corporation. To formally welcome everyone, may I please call on PAM Concepcion Power Corporation's President and CEO, Mr. Roel Z. Castro.
Sa atong pinalangga nga Presidente, President Rodrigo Roa Duterte, to our distinguished guests and principals here in Malacanang, to our dedicated workers and advocates in the plant site who are watching this program on live TV coverage, maayong hapon ug hapit na gabi sa taatong tanan. In behalf of the principals, management, and staff of PAM Concepcion Power Corporation, I would like to welcome all of you to this very momentous milestone for all of us, the inauguration and ceremonial switch-on of the 135 megawatt circulating fluidized bed coal-fired power plant located in Concepcion, Iloilo. We are so privileged to hold this inauguration in no less than here in Malacanang Palace, with no less than the President of the Republic of the Philippines as our guest of honor. And we are truly honored by your presence, Mr. President. PAM Concepcion Power Corporation is a new player in the power industry, but has achieved feats that other players in the industry are trying to replicate. We take much pride in this new plant for putting together one of the most efficient steam turbine and generator from Europe, and the rest of the plant mostly coming from China. We are among the few to have used the technology with reheat, and as a consequence, we are one of the most fuel-efficient plants operating and at the same time compliant with the stringent environmental criteria set by both local or rather national and international agencies. As a consequence of using the latest and most efficient technologies, we have one of the lowest tariffs in the country in this same class of plants that the consumers are able to enjoy. Other than the power plant itself, we have also erected and commissioned and now ready for turnover to the National Grid Corporation of the Philippines a substation capable of unmanned operation and a 42-kilometer long high-voltage transmission line from the plant to NGCP's receiving substation. More importantly, I would also like to inform the President that we have completed the construction and commissioning of the power plant and transmission facilities all within 37 months, just a 1-month average. And since August 2016, we have operated continuously without any downtime until we went on mandatory preventive maintenance service very recently. More than the power plant, we are also so proud to report to the President that we have poured in resources for the development of the people, the communities, and in protecting the environment. We have invested more than 150 million pesos even before we sold the first kilowatt for projects like concreting of the 4.2-kilometer provincial road, scholarships, livelihood projects, capability building of the local leaders, disaster preparedness, and more importantly, massive reforestation and mangrove development. All this would have not been possible without the support of the province of Iloilo and the municipality of Concepcion, and all those who worked hard to turn this dream into a reality. Without naming names, I would just like to make a special mention of the dedication and untiring 24/7 work for 37 months of our general EPC contractor from China. In all humility, I would like to once again welcome all of you to this very important milestone for PCPC. And with much appreciation, we would like to thank the President of the Republic of the Philippines, President Rodrigo Roa Duterte, for gracing this occasion and for accepting our kind invitation to be the guest of honor. Salamat kayo sa inyong tanan, madamo nga salamat gid, sheshening, and thank you very much.
Thank you, Mr. Castro, for that inspiring welcome message. And now, may we please hear the message of PCPC Chairman Dr. Walter W. Brown on the corporation's donation for the anti-illegal drugs campaign of the Philippine government.
President Duterte, honored guests, ladies and gentlemen. Today is a historic day for both Palm Concepcion Power Corporation and for me. For Palm Concepcion Power Corporation, as Roel Castro pointed out, it's a great honor to have President Duterte inaugurate the plant here in Malacanang in spite of his very busy schedule. For me, it's a culmination of more than 4 years of planning. Governor Defensor pointed out to me that it's actually 6 years from the time Roel, myself, and a friend from Iloilo, Tony Hon, talked about the project, which we bought from the Consumhis. These years have been filled with planning, working, overcoming the challenges consistent with our commitment to the Governor and Archbishop of Iloilo, the Mayor, councilors and barangay officials of Concepcion, and the surrounding municipalities, that we would build a plant consistent with the most stringent requirements posed by our environmental authorities, at the same time respecting the beauty and the ambience of the seaside community. without any exaggeration, Concepcion is a beautiful town, it's a beautiful village, and we committed to all the local and government officials that we would not desecrate the beauty. And we're proud to say we have not done so. We've complied with our commitments. As Roel pointed out, we have completed the project in a record 37 months from breaking ground. And at the same time, we constructed 42 kilometers of transmission lines and made an investment of approximately 14 billion pesos. This amount of investment has supported the development of industry and commercial activity, not only in Concepcion but in the surrounding towns. We encountered great difficulties, among them the effect of Typhoon Yolanda, which increased our investment costs considerably due to the need to provide for the upgrade of specifications of the transmission towers, as well as to raise the elevation of the power plant by about 20 meters to compensate for the highest level of storm surge. We had to do it because we could not face the possibility of another Yolanda coming in, wiping out the power plant and losing the investment because we had not properly. At the same time, we had to increase the strength of our foundations to compensate for the strong earthquakes, which was not due to Yolanda, but when we did a complete research on the environment, we found out that we had to provide for earthquakes of the magnitude that hit Bohol and the Visayas. And the fact is, you never can predict when an earthquake will come, but we're ready for it. At the same time, while we suffered from the adversities, the adversities allowed us to show our commitment to the community in terms of helping them to recover from the effects of Yolanda through various CRS projects, which Roel has pointed out. The project would not have been possible without the full cooperation of our shareholders and partners from various countries which have been mentioned, who are here today, as well as local and national government officials who on the whole were supportive of the project. As a sign of our appreciation for the support of President Rodrigo Roa Duterte, whose programs against drugs, criminality, and corruption have enabled us to accelerate the progress of the project, even considering the short period he has been in power, we are pleased to make a donation to the Philippine government to support his program against drugs and the evils of addiction. We are confident that if we continue to support him in his programs, we will accelerate not only the material, but also the ethical development of the nation. We join him in his program to show the world that the Filipino is worth dying for, and for stressing the fact that the Filipinos can stand on their own 2 feet and should not be dependent on another nation to fight his battles for him. Some people have suspected me to be an American because of my name. I'd like to tell you the truth about it. As I have told my friends many times, I was born as an American in the Philippines, of an American father and Filipina mother. Grew up in the Philippines, left for the United States in 1963 to pursue graduate studies, was denied a U.S. visa, but was offered a U.S. passport. However, I had no intention of living in the United States, and when the only recourse was to obtain a visa was to renounce my American citizenship, I did so, in spite of the fact that the council berated me and said, "Are you stupid? Thousands of people would die for what you have, and you've given up." And I told him, "Take me to your leader, because I'll denounce you as my example of what an ugly American really is." No. There have been times when my decision has been questioned by my friends and my business associates, but I can say with all sincerity that since President Duterte came to power, there have been no regrets. I join him in his pride to be a Filipino, and I believe as he does that we are equal, if not better, than any other nation. I also believe that we should not be dependent on foreign aid. We should not develop a dependency relationship. Our rates of growth are among the best in the world. The only reason we cannot surpass them is that many of our people do not believe in their own country and in their own people. This project is one of the many I hope to participate in and finish within my lifetime to reaffirm this principle. Thank you and good evening.
Thank you very much, Dr. Brown. We shall now proceed to the ceremonial switch-on to be led by President Rodrigo Roa Duterte. May I request our PCPC officials to join the President downstage. On the count of 3, please press the button. 1, 2, 3. Thank you very much. And now, to introduce our distinguished speaker, may we call on Department of Energy Secretary Alfonso G. Cusi.
Makatao, makabayan, at mapagmahal. I know of no Filipino now who has expressed his love for his country and his fellow men more than this humble man, who even offers his life for the country and refuses to be addressed as His Excellency. In all humility, I introduce to you Mayor Rodrigo Roa Duterte, Pangulo ng Pilipinas.
Salamat po. Kindly sit down. Secretary Alfonso Cusi, Dr. Walter Brown, Mr. Roel Castro, Mr. Jacinto Nang, Jr., official stakeholders and partners of PAM Concepcion Power Corporation, my beloved workers in government, mga mahal kong kababayan. We are talking of oil and somebody is up in arms again. Ito yung mga I do not mean environmentalist, mga ano lang, mga environ lang. Environ dito, environ noon, and they refuse to understand the problem of how to run a country and how to develop it for the next generation. There is no doubt that noon pa yan whatever is really working on fossil fuel, talagang merong ano yan, hindi mawala. But you have to make also to consider us along the way in our course of civilization. We have improved tremendously the things that would harm mankind. Walang problema yan. And as I see, and we rely, I am not a technocrat. I am not a technician. I am just a plain lawyer. Yung nababasa ko dyan sa Time Magazine, Newsweek, whatever, is the source of good information. And the things that we have done to protect planet Earth. The argument is, why don't you use the solar and the whatever? Kung nandyan, bakit hindi? I've been waiting for the enterprising youth to come to my city and offer these things about solar energy, about wind power. Ang problema sa wind power, nasa utak ng lahat ng mga gago dito sa Pilipinas, yun ang hamihangin. Yung sa labas, wala. You know, everybody is trying to be smart alike in this country, and we will just have to live with it. Coal is the cheapest, and probably if you use the modern technologies, the safest. I would not mention the place, but I was there somewhere in Mindanao, and nakita ko yung coal-powered plant nila. And it was working well. I could see the steam, it was white. So medyo siguro parang clouds. Siguro magaling to, hindi madilim. And there was an aviary beside. And I could see that the birds there were as healthy as the human beings working there. So, wala sigurong problema dito. And you know what? In that place, ayaw ko lang magbanggit because ayaw ko mag-advertise, baka kompetensya ninyo. Wala kami nakita, pinamonitor ko about the cancer-related deaths. Sabi ko, you make study for the last, 10 years. Few. Wala mo na there's an epidemic of cancer. Wala talaga. Except that I really do not know, but it's a worldwide thing, including the climate change. Alam mo, mang misgivings of climate change, Jose C. Rocos and even President Ramos criticized me for refusing at first. It was a cabinet decision. Hindi ako nag-decide. Sabi ko, let's put it to a vote. Ganito yan. Kung babasahin mo talaga, we're lawyers and we're trained to really read the line and in between the lines. At nakalagay doon that it's a binding agreement. And all members must agree to it. Binding. Ibig sabihin, you have to exact obedience. Ang problema, pag binasa ko lahat pabalik-balik, there is no sanction. So what's the... You have a binding agreement and there is no sanction for a violation. So it means only one thing, that if you are a small nation, you're lumped together with the big nations, the highly industrialized nations, you have to obey. And by the time they would set the limits of emissions, yung carbon, tapos ayaw mong maniwala, or you might want to ask them for reconsideration because you're a growing nation and you're supposed to accept all that would like to do business because we need the money to advance our republic. Ngayon naman, nakita ko, abogado kasi ako. Pag ang China pati Russia ang Amerika, ayaw nilang maniwala. Can we pressure them to obey? Especially America. He was not a signatory in the Kyoto Protocol. That was the first attempt to really try to create a body to control carbon emissions. And yet America did not sign it for the longest time. Now they come up with this idiotic thing about climate change. And it's one that's crafted in Europe. Well and good if it's really good for the humanity. Ang problema, sabi ko, what if it is the big nations now, or those who contribute to the common funds of 200 billion? Who will give the money? Amerika? Hindi ka nakabayad yan sa fees niya sa tuition fee niya sa UN? Wala yan silang bayad-bayad. Kung kaming maliliit, you get all the sanctions. The usual refrain is, we cut off the aid and assistance and all the threats that you get as a small guy, and they have the say in the big things. Pangalawa, sino magbigay? Where would the 200 billion come? Common fund to remember, as falsely reported by the pretentious people here in the Philippines. It's not intended, you look at the law, it's not intended as a payment. You do not get paid because you suffered any typhoon because of the climate change. It is actually a common fund where you can borrow and start to build maybe whatever gadgets and everything that would promote the to a minimal thing, your carbon emissions. So yan ang problema ngayon. Sabi ko, who gets the deal here? Kasi kung tayong Pilipinas, pag sinabi nila, well, last year, you're now, hindi na kailangan di 1.3. The national law says it's 73 ang atin. That is the target of the law in the Philippines. You did not really follow yung gusto nilang 0.3. But that is only the beginning. You know how the big nations really go around international treaties and conventions to circumvent. Yan ang problema natin. Kaya sabi ko, ayaw ko niyan. Walang sanksyon. At kung wala ka naman i-contribute, and tapos they would demand you to lower because they are getting higher, yan nga ang sabi ko sa ambassador ng EU. Nagalit itong mga gago na to kasi sinabi ko sa kanya, what would be the standards that you would use in putting a limit? Kasi ko sabi ko, you guys, the big nations, all the past centuries, during the industrialization stage of the world, you, the big ones, kayo yung nag-pollute. Until now, see, even the Philippines, it's only 0.03. To ibig sabihin, kayo yung sumira. If there is a climate change at all, at this time, it is your undoing. Hindi sa amin. Now, why would I be a member and you dictate the terms because you are the contributors of the common 200 billion na wala pang siguro? I don't think that even America would honor that. Itong America is known to ayaw magbayad. Ayaw, pati yung sa United Nations tuition natin lahat. Maraming utang yung buang na yan. God. Kaya sabi ko, those were actually my misgivings. But you know how media is. I don't know what they want me to look and smell bad. No need because I really look and smell bad. And my mouth is discourteous. Problema na ninyo yan. That's what it is. Yun ang ano ko. But we need the power plants to drive our economy. Kulang talaga. And if you're thinking also of the past days that you have to go into a shutdown or whatever, the brownouts, and yung dyan sa Davao, talagang pumayag ako because may shortfall of supply. And there was a time that we were suffering the whole day, and this cannot go on. So when it was proposed to me at first time, I said, okay, just make sure that my city will get enough supply to run us para magkaroon naman kami ng alibyo. And true enough, in the days in between until now, we got ample supply. And I'm waiting for the day of Kingdom Come. Wala namang except for the typhoon. But the problem sa typhoon is that we are the window facing the Pacific. We are the first country, and if there's a warming there, a cold and hot thing combination, ang tatamaan talagang una tayo because we are in the Pacific Ocean. And we are I said, facing the first nation to be hit, aside from the Marianas and the Guam Islands. Tayo eh. But that's about it. Kaya yung Yolanda, talagang tinamaan tayo ng husto. But once it hits a landfall, whether you like it or not, it slows down because it bumps into so many things. Landmass, mountains, and all trees. Pero no surprise to me that we had the most severe consequence. Climate change is there, maybe. I'm not sure now. But mankind should also calibrate itself. But as we go along the way, we improve on the maybe the gadgets that would really emit emissions that are harmful to human being. Ang civilization naman is active on that. There's always a parity between the effect and how you get by under science. And they call this, they do not call it anymore the inventions, but the innovations of the countries as we go along the way. So wala akong problema dyan. Ang latest rokos ko lang dito sa gobyerno with itong ERC, the Energy Regulatory ERC. Alam mo, I've been trying to look at yung opisina nila, ang gastos nila. At mas marami pa yung consultants, anak ng ubos ang pera, gobyerno nito. Milking karaming consultants ninyo. Saan palang utak nito mga gagong ito yung... Ba't pa kailangan ng hundreds of consultants to... Ubos ang pera natin ito. That was really one of my misgivings. Reviewing but I was just keeping quiet until pumutok yung may namatay. But mayroon na akong naririnig. No, look guys. If I cannot trust a body that regulates the prices, kung magkano ang bayaran ni Juan de la Cruz, magkakaproblema tayo dyan. If you give me a hint about corruption, and definitely just owned by a few families or ruling families dito sa Pilipinas, oligarchs, maybe not na inherited na okay lang yan. But limitado dito, tapos kayo corrupt, I will not be comfortable. So, nakita ko yung sordid record ninyo plus the questionable decisions in the past. I demanded for their signature. Say, ayaw nila. Okay lang, good. Then I will ask Congress to abolish the positions. Then I'll just give it to the administrative body at first, then maybe we can, because it cannot be controlled by a department. It's a quasi-regulatory nga eh. It's a quasi-judicial body. Should not be under with anybody. We can recreate that immediately, maybe before the year ends. But nawala na ako ng gana doon sa ginawa nila. And it was not done in a manner that would... Hindi naman ako, I'm not against providing whatever, employment or enough money for this guy to make the day. But ang problema ko dyan is if there's an abuse of authority in these powers. So if I don't trust you anymore, I cannot. Tao yung nakataya dyan eh. It's the bulk of the humankind. Huwag na masyado yung mga mayaman, kaya niya yan. Problema yung mahirap, tapos nandiyan ka, tapos corrupt ka. Magkakaproblema tayo. Now, this climate change, I really don't know what would be the result at the end of the day. But I am pretty sure that I just hope that the nations controlling the interest there, including the money that they will contribute to the common fund, of which I think we are not qualified to be in there, ayusin lang nila because pag hindi, mag-withdraw ako. I'll be the first one. Kung ayaw ninyo, then, because I'm trying to develop my country, I've been inviting everybody who has expressed their sentiment to invest here. And I am also being requested by most of my cabinet technocrats na mag-industrial zones ka. And when it comes to E4, with the regulations of the whatever that climate change nila, magkakadiferensya ako dyan kasi ayaw ko talaga. Do not, because, mabuti kayo. All those years, you're spewing a lot of poison in the air na unbridled, unbothered, nobody molested you because you were the kings at that time. And you were doing it for so many centuries. Coming dito, who'd want even just, not in parity, but just as near where the development is. Kung pigilan ninyo kami, awa yan. Awa yan. Kasi ako kailangan ko with 104 million Filipinos. And we are the second fastest producing of human beings. We have to keep pace with. Hindi natin, that's one thing that we cannot stop. That is the favorite pastime of everybody. Libre yan eh. Hindi naman energy na babayad ka. So, we'll just have to adjust. Especially ako, lumang pare dito. Kasi yan, ayaw rin kasi ng Katoliko eh. Dapat talaga niyan. Kasi kung bigyan ko ng ano, ako doon sa Davao talagang pinipilit ko sa mga tao. So may mahanap ka trabaho, sabihin mo, ilang anak mo? 6. Buntis ka, buntis. Pag anak mo, magpaligate ka, tapos balik ka sa akin. Ganyan. Wala, ayaw ko ng ano, pati ako, nagmimigay talaga ako ng pang sa ligate, pati vasectomy. Pero walang takers ang mga lalaki. Because of that crazy notion that you will lose the erection if something there is cut unintentionally. Eh dapat nga lahat eh. Lalo, kung 6, 7, 8 yung anak mo, putulin mo na yung... That's a problem. I said, you have to keep pace with the problems of our country. Yan ang isa dyan. So now, in dealing with this kind of itong mga ganito, better be careful about itong malalaki. Ako ay mag-away ako, if I may just add, or additionally, itong mga, you know, I was just into about months when I was being hit by extrajudicial killing. Meron talagang, well, politics. You would kindly remember that even weeks before I took my oath of office, marami ng patayan. And I told you during the campaign that there are a lot of generals involved. And I even asked them to resign before kung manalo ako kasi there will be a magkagulo tayo. And so even before I became a president, there were already killings. They were really trying to purge everybody. May cleansing sila eh. It was not until after 2 months that we began the legitimate operations of the police. Yung mga encounters talaga. Yung nakita ninyo na binabalot ng ano, we are not producing mummies in this country. Bakit balutin ko pa yan? Patay, barilin mo na lang sa ulo, iwanan mo. Well, these were the tortures and they were the one extracting information. Who knows that? Who knows where what? Yun yan sila. But too early itong Amerikano, first the Commission on Human Rights, tapos sindan ng mga State Department. Okay lang yan. When I was mayor, I was already known for, and I was investigated by, United Nations, no? There was a rapporteur, Philip Alston. Then a series of, yung asawa ni Samson, si Delilah. She was the human rights. She investigated me. She was the Secretary of Justice. She investigated me. She became a senator. She made the loudest noise about me. Wala. Kaya siya pala. But what is really very tragic, I told President Oro, she was here. Was that pinakamasama talaga is she was the Secretary of Justice and she was doing it all along. No offense intended kung believer ka kay Delilah. Pero ngayon naman sa akin, ang ayaw ko sa Amerikano is they criticize me. Off and on, okay lang. And Human Rights Commission, fine. If we have the goods, file the case and see you in court. Tapos handang dumating kay Obama. You know, when I was mayor of Davao City, you can criticize me on the side. But when I became president of the Philippines, you should have avoided it for reasons of not only delicadeza, international committee and practice. Presidente na ako eh. Tapos bira-birahan mo ako just off the cuff statement na pati si Obama. Then every statement there is always a threat that you would cut the assistance and aid to the Philippines. Doon ako na kasi sinabi ko, hoy mga putang ina ninyo. There's a Visayan idiom actually. I don't know if it's also patay gutom. So it just means that you're almost dead because you're hungry. Sabi ko, do not characterize. Every time we're like dogs list on posts. At ganito lang kahaba yung tali, then you throw the bones or the bread. So the Filipino would be gagging just to get a bite of the food. Sabi ko, sumusobra na kayong mga putang ina kayo. At hindi ako, talagang putang ina sila with the media. I don't give a shit. They were always robbing our dignity. I was ganon ang bunga ako, but I was all along, early on, very subdued because ayaw ko magbinastos eh. Pero pag ginanon mo ako, sabi ko, do not do it to me. I will not take it sitting down. So sabi ko, Obama, you can go to hell. Tapos ngayon sabi lang, ayaw lang magpabili ng baril. Bakit? Kayo lang ba marunong maggumawa ng baril? Sa Danao, marami. Paggawa na ako doon, or I'll go to Russia. Kasi kaibigan ko na si Putin eh. President Putin seldom, very seldom does he smile. Kung nagkaibigan kami, every time we shake hands, he smiles at me. Sabi ko, kaibigan ko na si Putin. And we have this agreement, wala God, agreement na kung bili ako sa Russia, buy one, take one ako sa baril nila. Bali kayo natin. So that's about it. I just wanted you to know the dimensions of it all. We are not good today because finally, the intelligence community advised me that ISIS has vitally connected with the group in the Philippines called the Mauti. There's a raging war now in Lanao. I will just go to Fort Magsaysay tomorrow to inaugurate the structure that was given to us by one Chinese philanthropist. They said that guy started here in the Philippines, but when Deng Xiaoping opened China to investments and all, pumunta siya doon, millionaire. He contributed a structure good for 10 million drug addicts. So siya lang ang nakabigay talaga ng kalaki. So I'm flying there. The 10 million, 10,000 rather. 10,000 drug addicts. Kasama na yung medisina. So nakapabait ng mama na yan. But then I'll go to also to Marawi. I'm not trying to scare you, but Could I please have the... Dala-dala ko, pinakita ko kay Presidente Arroyo. Sabi ko, ma'am, we are in a bind. I really do not know how to surrender na ako. Sabi ko, hindi ko kaya to. Even assuming publicly that I can kill them, I will not have the time and resources to do it. This is the drug industry of the Philippines. Lahat yan pangalan. Ito, pangalan ito. Police, barangay captain, mga... It's actually a list. Gano'n ito lahat yan. Hindi naman lahat yan kasi yung iba, because I was looking at the problem, ang standard ko kasi sa intelligence report was the standard of a lawyer. So hindi ako pwede yung nasabi doon at nasabi dito pa. Double hearsay. So nilaglag ko lang yung iba. And it's about 5,000, before you go out of this room. We were already in narco politics. In fairness to the presidents, I would not want to zero in on what particular administration. But we were already a narco politics state, given the so many thousands of policemen, municipal mayors and mayors involved. Now, the portals of the national government to the contamination of narco politics was opened by, sadly, Dilima. Siya yung unang napunta doon sa And if you have time, you can order that book, Ion Grillo, Iongrillo. It's online. You can buy it siguro sa... It traces the history of how narco-politics swept the entire Latin America. How it led to the destruction of Escobar. And if you can read the book, you would see that we are, kung pagka-stage, kung cancer, we are already in stage 2. Because karamihan ng barangay captains dyan, nandyan, easy money. And had I acceded to an election this year for the barangay captains, we would have lost to the money of the drug industry. Ganong ka-delikado ang sabi ng human rights, pinapatay ko raw. Sabi ko, sige, maghinto tayo. Paramihin natin. Para pag panahon ng harvest tayo, mas marami na tuloy mamamatay. Isali ko na kayo. Kayo nang palaki. Well, I said, maybe, whether you supported me or not, I am your president. And I will never allow my country to be thrown to the dogs. That's the reason why they kept on pinning me, because I said when I was mayor, at kaya mga taga Davao alam na ninyan, I said, if you destroy my city with drugs, I will kill you. If you destroy the youth of my city, I will kill you. In the same manner that when I became president, I said, if you destroy my country, I will kill you. Make no doubt about it. If you destroy the generation of Filipinos coming up to replace us, I will kill you. Simple as that. Kung hindi maintindihan ng human rights, kung ganoon kayo kabugok, ay wala akong magawa para sa inyo. Pati yung EU, Israel, they kept on hammering me about that statement. When is it, or when was it a crime to say I will kill you if in protecting my country. Kailan pa naging kasalanan mo sabihin mo, pag ginalam ang bayan ko, pati yung mga anak ko, papatayin kita. Ito namang, anak ko, Diyos ko. Kaya sabi ko, huwag kayong maniwala dyan mga European lawyers, puro bugok yan. Asos maniwala. Dito kayong makinig sa Pilipino. Mas bright, stupid, pibing, brain niya like a pea. Kailan mo na takutin mo ako na ikulong mo ako? International Criminal Court. Bullshit. Ang Amerika mismo ang nagtatakot sa akin na ipakulong ako sa International Criminal Court is not a signatory of that body. Why? Because at that time they were afraid Bush will get it. Mga ito, using a phrase of a charter or document na hindi naman sila signatory. Ito mo kagaguhan. Sabi ko na, gusto ko kayo murahin uli, pero wag na lang kasi I am before an audience na pardon my language. Ito talagang bastos ang bunganga ko. Nasanay ako pasensya na kayo. But next time, you might want to, doon na tayo sa Vice President, magpasword ka, huwag na dito kayo. Buti yan kayo mabait. The smile of Mona Lisa. So I'd like to congratulate PAM Corporation. Mr. Brown, you are as double the Filipino as you claim you are. You are a patriot. You have helped the country. Do not worry about pollution. It's always be there. It is up to our mankind to innovate and, come up with something, it's a good gadget that would compensate for all of these things. Because we cannot. For the life of me, we cannot abandon the sources of energy. Sun, wind, karamihan ng walang hangin sa Pilipinas, nasa politiko lahat. Sa ulo na lang. Well, wala, we have not enough. The cheapest way is really to have coal. Just be careful that in its operation of the enterprise, we do not get so much in trouble also with the regulators of our country. The environment, si Gina, patay ka. Gina. By the way, I reappointed her. Na-bypass siya. But I like her and she's okay, very strict. I like that. She's not corrupt. I like that. And she cannot be corrupted. I also like that. Why? Because I want my country also at least relatively safe from every predators from all sorts. Maraming salamat po.
Thank you very much, Mr. President, for your encouraging words. At this juncture, may we request the President for a photo opportunity. For the first batch, may we please call on our PCPC principals and directors, followed by the PCPC management, customers, and Iloilo local government officials, and third, PCPC management contractor, lenders, and staff. Thank you. Once again, may we call on the first batch, PCPC principals and directors. For the second batch, please get ready. Second batch will be PCPC management, customers, and Iloilo local government officials. Kindly get ready as well. For the second batch, PCPC management, customers, and Iloilo local government officials, please line up. Thank you to our first batch. Now for our second batch. For our third batch, PCPC management, contractor, lenders, and staff, kindly get ready as well. Please line up at the left side of the stage. Once again, for the PCPC management, contractor, lenders, and staff, kindly get ready. Calling our third batch, please line up at the left side of the stage. Thank you, second batch. And now a third batch. Thank you. Thank you to our third batch. Thank you very much, our dear President Rodrigo Roa Duterte, for having us in this momentous ceremony. On behalf of PAM Concepcion, we would also like to thank everyone for joining us, and we promise to always be true to our commitment in bringing the bright light of power to every homes and businesses for a brighter community, for a brighter future. Thank you. May we request everyone to please stay first for some cocktails. Thank you. Once again, may we request everyone to please stay inside the hall for some cocktails. Thank you. our guests, the cocktail area is already open. Please enjoy the night.